Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another video. And now it's time for me to answer my third Q&A. Like I said, if I said last week I would give it a week to add all your comments or questions, and now it's been a week, so here we go. Answering Q&A number 3, and I got some good peeps. So I got some plenty full of people here. Questions. So let's get right down to it. So for the first one, from Matthias Jensen has 6 for me. For her first question. First question. I'm sure Miss David's male for male. He or his or her question, but the first question is that what are some of your favorite actors and actresses? I've said in the past. I've said some of my some of my announced or some of my favorites. Dennis Hopper for one, who I miss dearly. He's one of my favorite actors. I miss him. I enjoy him. It's just one of my favorite films that I've always enjoyed him growing up was, of course, when he played the memorable villain Howard Payne in Speed. You know, pop quiz, hot shot, and just memorable lines of dialogue. I just loved him in Speed. And it's like it's getting on to 11 a.m. Jack, and I think it's gonna be a very pretty day. I just like the way he laughs too. So yeah, Dennis Hopper, one of my favorites. I miss him dearly. May he rest in peace. Some other favorite actors, like I said, Kurt Russell. I just love, great actor. Just saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, fantastic. I just enjoy most of the films. He's never given a bad performance. Like from Big Trouble in Little China as Jack Burton, Snake Plissken, Escape from New York, R.J. McCready, John Carpenter's The Thing, my favorite horror film. Even in comedies, even though Big Trouble in China has comedy in it though, but straight out comedy, Overboard. I just got the DVD though, but I have watched it for years though. Great comedy with him, with him and his wife, his co-star and now wife, Goldie Hawn. Even if he can do a good thriller. I reviewed Breakdown. That's a great movie. Soldier. I think he was a good solid performance. I like Soldier. So Kurt Russell never once gave a bad performance. Even some other ones like Executive Decision with him and Steven Seagal, which Steven Seagal wasn't in the film much, but you don't know why when it relates to that film with Steven Seagal and Executive Decision though. I could never get into Executive Decision. Kurt Russell, he was not the problem. It was a good performance though, but it's not one of my favorite action films. Let's put it that way. But Kurt Russell, great, fantastic actor. I love Kurt Russell to death. Other ones I've said in the past: Sylvester Stallone, I love. Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what I was saying. Sam Neill, I enjoy. And so those are actors, but for actresses, Julianne Moore. I enjoy her as an actress. I would say she's one of my favorite actresses. I enjoy Julianne Moore. Trying to think of other actresses. I know there's I know there's a lot of actresses, most popular ones, but the ones I remember, Julianne Moore. I know she's one of my favorites. I'm just trying to look around to give a Reese Witherspoon. That's another one I like, especially her voice in Monsters vs. Aliens. But I actually don't mind the first Legally Blonde film, to be honest. And And I know I saw her in the trailer for the teaser for A Wrinkle in Time. She's like this weird redhead girl with Oprah in it. But I like Reese Witherspoon. There's not too many actors popular ones I like. But I like Reese Witherspoon. But maybe I'll consider putting her. I haven't watched too many of her films though. But um, let's see. Hmm. I'm just drawing a blank right now. Oh, Drew Barrymore, I like. But I would say probably one of my favorite actors I would say is Julianne Moore mostly. And I know I just named some of the other many actors I enjoy. But yeah. So I don't want to keep on prolonging this question. So yeah, that's the first question. But those are some of the actors and actresses I like. But probably the only one I like is Julianne Moore for actress wise. Question 2 from Matthias Jensen says, "What two actors/actresses would you have liked to have seen in a movie together?" Ooh, that's a good one. Well, let's say for films they have never appeared in a film together yet. Let's see. I know Stallone has appeared with Kurt Russell, and Stallone appears with Arnold. Maybe I'll see Kurt Russell with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought that would be a good one. Yeah, so yeah, Kurt Russell with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I would like to see that one. I don't think there's. Okay, so Stallone has collaborated with both of them, so I don't think Arnold has worked with Kurt Russell yet. Let's see. Uh, and I don't think Bruce Willis has worked with because I was thinking of the Expendables. So Bruce Willis, I don't think Bruce Willis has worked with Kurt Russell yet either. That's a good question. So, but I would say anyone who has not worked with Kurt Russell, like I said, maybe I'd like to see one with Arnold Schwarzenegger with Kurt Russell, or if Dennis Hopper was alive, I'd like to see him do a collab. But I don't know. How about maybe with Carl Urban, Judge Dredd himself. I'd like to see him do a collab with some of these actors as well. Maybe a good team up with Russell, or maybe a good team up with Stallone. I'd like to see that, Carl. Because Carl Urban, I really do enjoy as an actor, especially with Dredd. And speaking with Carl Urban, I just like to. I don't know what's going on with that TV show they're doing with Judge Dredd Mega City 1. If Carl Urban is not on board on that show, then I don't want to see it. But he says he wants to be Judge Dredd again. But if Carl Urban is not going to be in that show, then I have no interest in seeing it though. But I'd like to see Kurt Urban maybe. Yeah, some collabs together. Maybe Kurt Russell, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Carl Urban with Kurt Russell or Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Carl Urban with Stallone. There's just to name a couple. But yeah. So that's some that I like to see in a movie together. From question 3, If you were a filmmaker, director, and writer, what kind of movies would you want to be making? What genre? What stories? What characters? What actors? Etc. That's another good question. Now, so I enjoy a whole bunch of the genres: action, horror, sci-fi. Hmm. Maybe yeah, I think I would like to maybe could do like maybe I could do like a monster horror a horror film, direct a horror film, a monster film. Um, Maybe with actors who I want to make be a star in a horror film. Hmm. So I guess there's such a variety of actors that I'm trying to think of actors who have not collabed in doing a horror film. Well, Dwayne Johnson. Well, if you count Doom, it's more sci-fi. But in a straight up monster horror film like John Carpenter's The Thing or some other ones like Deep Rising. You know those type of monster films or The Relic, something like that though. Maybe I'd like to see Dwayne Johnson do that type of horror film. Put Dwayne Johnson or even Carl Urban because I liked him in Doom. Well, they both started together, but it's more of a sci-fi because it's based on a video game. But it's a straight up creature feature horror film. You know, and if I were a director, I would use full on practical effects, not CGI. Because I'm always complaining about that because films nowadays they always want to go over top on CGI. They hardly do. If they will get low budget horror films, they still do practical effects. That's nice though. But to me, I would use like full on practical effects on monsters, whether it be a suit or animatronics. Get a good cast, and even if film was critical or financial success or not, though, it was like, hey, at least I did this film the way I want it, and for my viewing, and that's the way I want it, though. But if it was a flop, it's a flop, and if it's a success, then it's more good to me, and I'll probably get more jobs then, though. So if I were to do like a horror film like that, it's straight up like straight up creature feature film, like in the realms of Deep Rising, Tremors, or The Relic, and get some good all-star casts in there as well. You know, like I say, Carl Urban, I'd like to see that. Dwayne Johnson. I would give Kurt Russell another chance as well because John Carpenter's The Thing worked wonders in there. But I'll probably get Stallone because ICU. It was more. I saw it more like as a mystery slasher film. It's probably the closest thing that Stallone has ever starred in a horror film. Some people call it a thriller though, but I would put it in as kind of like a bit of a slasher film. But I would like to see Stallone in something like that though. Once again, Dennis Hopper, if he was alive, I would put him in there as well. So yeah, That's something I would like to do. Um, and as for the fourth question, do you like anime, movies, series, OVAs, etc.? And if yes, then do you have any favorites? Well, one anime that I grew up loving, Pokemon is for one. You can see them right there. I got Charmander, Flareon, and Jolteon right there. But yeah, that's considered Japanese anime. I love Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely one. And speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm wearing one right now. I had this custom made myself. No, well, I'll go to the shop to get custom though. But here's one right here. If you ever wonder who this is Mega Zowler. If anyone knows, it's a dinosaur Yu-Gi-Oh card. But as for the other Japanese anime, besides those two, now probably say that I would probably say, I saw a few episodes as on TV as when I was little. Sailor Moon. I'll probably get some laughs at that though, but yeah, I did see a few of those back in the day on TV. Yeah, Sailor Moon. I would probably put that. But yeah, within. If I liked it as a kid, I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna lie. So that's what I say the truth. So yeah, I'll probably put Sailor Moon as well. But as far as other animes, uh, hmm, I can't think of any. But Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I would probably put Sailor Moon. Now I'm not a big fan of Dragon Ball Z, to be perfectly honest. So I'd rather watch Sailor Moon. But I know sure a lot of people love Dragon Ball Z. I just never got the interest of that. But yeah, those are some. I'll probably say Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and yeah, I'll even put Sailor Moon as for Japanese anime probably. Um, recently my dad, he's been watching plenty of full different all different types of animes recently, all different kinds. Wherever once randomly he just picks one, he starts watching the whole series. So yeah, he's probably more interested in anime than I am probably. But yeah, those are some of those. So Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I'll probably put Sailor Moon. So yeah, and next for question number 5. If you had the power to bring back great directors, composers, actors, actresses from the dead that you loved and grew up with, which ones would you pick? That's a great question. I just mentioned one right the past talking about the questions. Dennis Hopper. I would love to bring back Dennis Hopper. I miss the guy. John Candy. I miss dearly. He was a great guy. Seemed like a kind-hearted person. John Candy. I would like to bring back. Um, Other ones. We mentioned composers. I would like to bring back Jerry Goldsmith. That's another great guy who did a lot of great scores. Like from the Star Trek motion picture, then even on the fifth Star Trek, and then First Contact. Even he did it on Nemesis as well. But other films, Deep Rising, right there. He did a Mulan, The Mummy, just countless films. I love Jerry Goldsmith. There was another one he did. I think I reviewed it a while back, and I mentioned I'm drawing a blank now. I can't memorize every single film. Unless if I had a list right here, I would name them though. But yeah, Jerry Goldsmith, I would love to bring back. So Dennis Hopper, John Candy. Uh, let's see other ones. John Ritter, that's another one because John Ritter, another guy who seems a really great guy to see. To be like another down to earth type of guy. Loved him in Three's Company. Another guy who's just been, cut short of his prime and all that. Sad he's no longer with us. I love John Ritter. That's another one I would like to bring back. For directors, I'm trying to think of Tony Scott. Director Tony Scott, younger brother of director Ridley Scott. I would like to bring him back because I loved Top Gun. I enjoyed Crimson Tide, Days of Thunder, Enemy of the State, Unstoppable, his last film that he did. I enjoy Unstoppable with Denzel Washington and Chris Pine. the remake of Taken Pelham 1, 2, 3. Um, he just collabed with the Denzel Washington a lot. I don't know, lots of his films. Man on Fire. Um, The Last Boy Scout, which I love. Beverly Hills Cop 2. Another great director. He had the potential, even though he's probably not on the same level as his brother Ridley Scott, though, with the films he's been making, though. But Tony Scott, he had his unique way of making films. That's another one. I would like to see more after Woody. Would like to see more Woody done after he did Unstoppable. So, um, but yeah, that's just to name a few. Oh, Bill Paxton, who recently just passed away who recently passed away earlier this year. I would love to bring Bill Paxton back. That's another. He's just with the way you see him on screen, the way how he performs in films, whether it be in the lead or in smaller or supporting roles. He just has this unique charm about him. That's another one. Bill Paxton, I would love to bring back. So yeah, just to name a few there. Yeah, as I meant, Dennis Hopper, John Candy, John Ritter, Bill Paxton, Jerry Goldsmith, Tony Scott. So yeah, that's once again more good questions, and then the last one would be what video games would you like to see getting a film adaptation and done right, and what cast and crew would you like to include? Video game film for films that are based on for turning a video game into a film is a hard thing to do, and the films that have been released in theaters have not been well received, and lots of them flop. Doom, I enjoy. I'm probably one of the few guys that like Doom, but I like it. Mortal Kombat, I love. Hitman sucked, as well as the newer one, 47. That one sucked. I'm not a fan of the Resident Evil films. Super Mario Brothers. I'm also one of the few people who also like the film with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo and the late Dennis Hopper, because there was a lot of things I liked about I enjoyed about the film, and I like Super Mario Brothers the movie. Other ones. I know they're doing the adaptation of Rampage, the video game. Now I'm questioning it though. I'm just now questioning about the film though, but I could still like it though, but still. As for other video games, what would I like to see and done right? Well, first of all, I would like to see a new reboot. Honestly, I would like to see a new reboot of Doom. To be perfectly honest, I like the 2005 film, but I would like to see a new adaptation of Doom. Just to see how they would take it on a new direction, especially with the new release of the Doom game like a while back. But who would I like to? If I would like to do a reboot of Doom, who would I like to? Who would I like to cast in it? Well, for one, I would like to see Carl Urban just because I enjoyed his performance as John Reaper, aka Grimm. John Reaper though, but I would like to. I would just for the sake of it, because I like him in the 2005 film. I would like to see him in this just for to just But as for other people who would like to see in Doom, who would like to see in Doom? Maybe I'd like to see Fred Ward. He's probably like the guy who's in charge to tell him to go on this mission. Like the higher ranking officer, as a higher ranking officer, to tell the soldiers to go on this mission. Oh, I probably would like to see that. I think he could pull off fine. Fred Ward. He's the guy as I mentioned, because he's the guy who doesn't do much nowadays. I love him in Tremors. as well as a sequel. I like to give him a chance because he doesn't do much nowadays. So I feel like I like mentioning him. So Fred Ward, I like to see him in. Um, Maybe Brendan Fraser. Maybe give him more jobs to do because he hasn't done much. He hasn't got much jobs in probably in some time. Because coming off him being an action star from the Mummy films. Mads Mikkelsen, I would like to probably see because he's been growing on me as an actor in the past. For how long? I would probably like to see Mads Mikkelsen. Be probably a funny thing. Um, but yeah, and if Jerry Goldsmith was alive, I would have him do the score, do a good Doom score. And it says for someone to direct it, can be anybody. Trying to think who would be a good choice for a director. Hey, maybe even Steve. Maybe Stephen Summers because did Deep Rising and The Mummy. Maybe I'll give Stephen Summers a chance because he hasn't done much either. But if not Stephen Summers, hey, Rennie Harlan. I would like to give him a chance to direct a cool one. I enjoy Rennie Harlan as a director. I've done a couple of films he's been reviewed recently. Die Hard 2, Deep Blue Sea. So yeah, maybe either Stephen Summers or Rennie Harlan. As for other video game adaptations, there's one video game that probably people have probably maybe remember, Gex. I'll just be right back. Give me a second here. If everyone knows what I'm talking about, Gex. He's like this spy lizard. I have this on a Nintendo game. This character here, Gex. Maybe we can see an adaptation of that. Probably for an animated film, or probably look ridiculous for a live action film. Well, in this video game, there is a really a live action person, like his female human partner in this game. Maybe they can do a live action of that, do it right. But like I said, it'll probably flop because a lot of these video game adaptations would flop, except for the Resident Evil films, because those films have been making money. But maybe this film, maybe adaptation of this, because that's another character, video game character doesn't get talked now much nowadays either. Gex. Yeah, we'll give that a chance, maybe. But who would voice? Who knows? I don't know. Anybody could voice this character. So, whoever thinks that it's up to you who probably wants to voice this character Gex. Knowing that they probably get some comedy actor like Seth Rogen or Zach Galifianakis or something like that. I couldn't buy them voicing a spy lizard. Someone else probably has to be someone else. Trying to think. If not, they probably get some British actors. They always get some British actor to play American characters. But funny, maybe John Candy if he was still alive today. Maybe. But let's see. Nah, I can't see Jack Black either. Hey, um, probably it's probably something, but maybe Chris Hardwick. Because yeah, a while back I didn't notice that he voiced Otis in the spin-off of Back to the Barnyard. Because in the film it was Kevin James, but now he voiced Otis in the show. Which I really that was Chris Hardwick, who voices who does Talking Dead after The Walking Dead and all that. Just taking his voice when he voices Otis, maybe. I don't know. It's just I'm just thinking because there's like anybody. It's like anybody can do a voice. Who can voice though, but maybe that character. So yeah, maybe. But I'll just say a Doom. Maybe I'll give a chance because this character is probably pretty much forgotten about. So yeah, but those are 6 questions from Matthias Jensen. Thanks for those. Moving on, from 1F5 SDA 1991 says, could you review Contact with Jodie Foster? Now, I have Contact with Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey, directed by Robert Zemeckis. I like Contact. Maybe I'll give it a review sometime. I just have I just have so much down on my list I want to review and such. I'll do a review of that one day down the road. I will, because I like Contact. It's a good film. There's a couple that I do know, so I'll save them for last. One is the next one from Sid Rodney Cash 21055. That's a lot of questions for me. I'll try to do go through these as fast as I can. Do you think his first question is do you think a Dirty Harry and Bullet crossover would work? Now, Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry and Bullet, the movie with Steve McQueen, referring to. Will crossover work? That's a hard one because those are old characters. Maybe they could work. I'm just trying to get my head around that because Dirty Harry and Bullet. I am not too sure on that. Maybe it could work if they were done back in the day. If they did a crossover back in the day after their films, maybe. Not sure if it was done. If it was done today, probably not. Next question 2: who should be the next James Bond? Oh boy. After Daniel Craig, I honestly can't. I can't honestly say who's another popular British actor who could play the famous spy. Oh boy. Probably if I do think one, I can't see them as James Bond material. So that one I honestly don't know. It could be a popular. Maybe Jason Statham. Maybe that would be really interested in him to play James Bond because he's a popular action British actor. Maybe Jason Statham. It'll be pretty funny though, but at the same time, it'll be cool to see if he can. I think maybe he can pull off the James Bond look. So maybe Jason Statham. Ozzy or Dio? For question 3 and question 4, I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Ozzy or Dio, and Roth or Hager? I'm not exactly sure what you mean on those. Sorry for that, though, but I'm not sure. But question 5 is: Have you seen the Adventure of Young Indiana Jones? I've heard of the show of the show of the Young Indiana Jones. I never watched them. Perfectly honest, I've never seen them and I haven't watched them, and I just don't have the interest of seeing of a young Indiana Jones. I'd just rather watch the films with Harrison Ford. Probably the closest thing for a young Indiana Jones is probably when in The Last Crusade when River Phoenix played a young version of him. But I've not seen the show and I just don't have the interest to watch. So, yeah, question 5. Number 6. What do you think they should do a big budget remake of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World? If yes, who would you cast? Sir Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's version of the Lost World. Now, that one I'm not actually too sure. I have not seen the only Lost World that I know of was the one Michael Crichton wrote, the Lost World Jurassic Park one. I have not read that version of the Lost World, so I can't exactly know how the story should go. Or so if I don't know who the story should go, I don't know who to cast in it. So sorry, I'm sorry on that one though, but I haven't read the story. If I knew the story, then I probably would answer more specifically on that though. But I can't give you an answer on that one though, because if I know the story, then I would answer that one, but I don't. And if I know the story about it, then I'll probably know about the cast. Question number 7: Who should play older Newt in Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5? Oh, I would rather prefer to see that version of Alien 5 than Alien Covenant. I hated Alien Covenant. I think they would just go to go should have gone with Neil Blomkamp's version of Alien 5 with bringing back Ripley, Newt, and Hicks. I think they should have gone with that story. Because that would have been like a good new replacement for Alien 3. That should have been the true Alien 3 instead of the other one we got from the 90s. I hate Alien Covenant. I wish they would pick this story. I think it's just I have nothing good to say about Alien Covenant except for Danny McBride. But who should play an older Newt? Yeah. That's probably the same girl if she's older enough though. But if replace the for a different actress though, maybe let's see. I don't know. Should play an older Newt. I'm just trying to think if it's like years. The girl should probably be in her 20s. Probably. I'm trying to think of an actress who probably maybe 30s. I don't know. If it's an older Newt. I'm just thinking. I'm looking to see how the film. I'm looking at all the films to see if an actress in a film would spark something to me think of one. If the girl is like 20 years later, and the girl should be like in her 20s for Newt. Maybe but if she's older though. Probably seem out of place. Maybe Reese Witherspoon, or I'm just gonna try to match like the age for the age of the character. Because I don't think that Reese Witherspoon is not that old yet. She's probably still maybe Drew Barrymore. I don't know. I'm just trying to fit the age difference. If it's like years later for this new film, trying to fit the age for the age. Maybe someone who was like the ages around like with Drew Barrymore or Reese Witherspoon maybe. But if she's older though, maybe in her somewhere like in her 40s or something, maybe. So maybe someone like Helen Hunt, maybe, or Laura Dern. Those are some of the choices. I'm trying to think between like the age differences. If she's like in her 20s or 30s, maybe Reese Witherspoon or Drew Barrymore, or well, I don't think they're not in their 20s anymore. I'm sure they're in their 30s though. But I'm just gonna say maybe in 40s, maybe Helen Hunt or maybe Laura Dern. So yeah, a couple of those though. But I would still like to see that version of Alien 5, from Neil Blomkamp though, but instead of that stupid Alien Covenant one. Number 8, any hot girls movie buff, where you are. Probably not. Around where I am, probably not. I probably don't think so either. Question number 9. What actor and actress would you like to see make a comeback? Well, I named a couple. A few. Brendan Fraser. He's been just out of. He's been totally out of it. Probably since he did the Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. I know he did it for. He hasn't got much movie choices. I wish he can have more movie choices to make a comeback. Maybe Brendan Fraser, Chris Tucker. He did nothing but the Rush Hour films, and that was it. Then he had a little role in Silver Lining Playbook, and I think he said he was in that film Bobby Something's The Walk. What was it? The Walk of Halftime. It was a new film that Ang Lee directed that flopped. Yeah, that's all the cast because Chris Tucker's name was in there. But Chris Tucker, he hasn't after the Rush Hour films, he hasn't done nothing. Someone like him can give him some more movie choice to make a comeback. For other ones to make a comeback from. So I'm trying to think of other ones. Val Kilmer, he hasn't done probably in years. So he probably has done a lot of bad direct-to-video films. I'd like to see him give a good starring role. Christian Slater. He had the potential to be a good action hero because I love him in Broken Arrow and I enjoy him in Hard Rain. He has the potential to be a good action star. But now, recently in years, I thought I heard he was in a TV show. I forget though, but I'd like to see him to get more roles to make a comeback. Yeah, so Christian Slater. I know Keanu Reeves. He already got his comeback with the John Wick film, so I don't need to mention him. So I love the John Wick films, so I don't need to say him. But Christian Slater, Brendan Fraser, Chris Tucker, Christian Slater, I said, Val Kilmer. Lou Diamond Phillips. He hasn't done much in a long time because I like Lou Diamond Phillips. I think the first Power, Bats, La Bamba was probably his most famous one. But as for up to date, not much. I like to see Lou Diamond Phillips make a comeback as well. I will put him as an underrated actor as well. Dolph Lundgren, definitely, because he's been nothing but. Dolph Lundgren, he's like an actor he's been so underused, I know I enjoy him a lot of his direct-to-video films. A lot of them I enjoyed. But after the first Expendables film, Expendables 2, he's been the butt of everybody's joke. Expendables 3 was nothing. And I know he's starring Aquaman though, but he's probably in a small supporting role. He's just a guy who's so underused. I want him to get more bigger roles. So I would definitely put Dolph Lundgren in this. He's such an underused actor. I enjoy, for his direct-to-video films in the lead, I like a lot of them. But as for recent theoretical released films as of today, give him much more bigger starring roles. You know, I know they like in Deadpool 2, they when they cast Cable. I know there was mentioned like in the end of the first film when um I could have swore that Deadpool mentioned Dolph Lundgren to play Cable. I swear, otherwise I could have heard wrong. But I know it's been given to Josh Brolin now. He's gonna play Cable. I wanted to see him as Cable. He did look the part to play Cable. Kevin McGill have him star in a role like that, you know. It shows he's just underused nowadays. I would definitely want to see him make a big comeback as well. I liked him in the first Expendables film, but the sequels he's been underused. Especially number two, he's been in the second film. He's been the butt of jokes. So yeah, Dolph Lundgren, I would definitely want him to have a big comeback again. So let's just name a few. Number 10. Have you heard of these bands? Muse, Pentagram, Riverside, Heat, Wolf Mother. The first one I have. The first one I've heard of the band named Muse. For what I'm mistaken, I think they did like the song for the opening theme of World War Z as the credits are going. Dun, 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 dun. And I also think they like did the they did if we talk again, they did a theme for a couple of trailers that heard in the theme of some trailers. One from 30 Days of Night. That same theme was in another trailer, which I forget. Unleashed. That was the other one. So yeah, because I know what I saw. Yeah, same theme in two trailers for Unleashed and 30 Days of Night, and then their theme in the opening credits of World War Z. So I've heard of them. As for the other four, Pentagram, Riverside, Heat, and Wolf Mother, no, I haven't. So yeah, that's all the questions. Thank you very much for those. Next is Crank Ducks, who also has a lot of questions for me. First question: have you ever played Tekken? I have played. I can't remember which game I played though. It was a while. It was long ago. I can't remember which one I played. It was only one game though, but I remember playing the one time, a long time ago. I just can't remember which one I had played. But as for I do like the movie though. But I've only played one game. I can't remember if I think there was a lot of sequels to Tekken, but I only played one a while back, so I can't remember which one it was. Question number 2. What are some opening and closing logos that you like seeing? Are you referring to like the opening titles of a film, like the movie title that opens up in the film and then closing? If that's that's what you're referring to. Um, as for the opening logos, and if you're referring to the opening title logos of films that's what you're referring to, ones that I grew up loving, the opening title for Jurassic Park and for The Lion King, definitely. Um, I was trying to think. Space Jam. I like the opening logo when the theme is going. I definitely like the opening theme for the Space Jam. Um, hmm. Okay. Here's one. Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. I remember growing up on the old VHS. Just the title when it opens up and you have that music playing. Da, 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 da. That's also one opening logo that I loved growing up. That was how it introduced me to Godzilla. Definitely one of those. Yeah, Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. So that's the name of a few, yeah. But as for closing logos, I can't remember too many of the closing logos though. But as for opening, there's a couple of those I've told you. Question number 3: what kind of music are you into? Rock. So a lot of the classic rock ones. A couple of more of the some of the pop music as well. Some of the classic rock too. Definitely not into hip hop. Definitely not. I do like some country music I do like some country music, especially like by George Strait. But as for the classic rock bands like Kiss, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin. As for the pop stuff like Michael Jackson, may he rest in peace. Elvis Presley, King of Rock and Roll. So yeah, those classic singers as well. Those their music like I am into, as well as some country music and some of the ones like it's like Kiss, AC/DC. Trying to think of what else. Of course, I like listening to the soundtrack from scores as well from films. But yeah, those are some of them. And then question 4: what is your opinion on mainstream pop music in this current generation? Well, as far as I definitely could see, that's even though there is some pop music that a lot of people do like nowadays, though. But to me personally, it's not gonna be not as good as the ones back in the day, especially if you're referring to the king of pop, Michael Jackson. His songs were just timeless and classics. And it's a song, speaking of songs like those, nowadays, if people are going to make it, it's not going to be no as good as the music like that back in the day for those. But as for mainstream pop music goes, today, I just rather go back to, I just listen to the old pop music. I just have no interest in some of these newer music stuff, you know. Just call me old fashioned, I guess. What is your to go? What is your go to the movie snack? Probably what a lot of people enjoy going to the movie snack is popcorn. Wouldn't be a movie without popcorn. What is number 6? What is your opinion on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? I like the show. That's a show I don't have on DVD yet though, but I remember watching it. So that was like on Nick at Night. I know how that's the show before Will Smith became famous on the big screen with Independence Day and stuff. But Will Smith, he was always good on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'd like to get the show, the whole show one day on DVD. But yeah, I like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, along with those classic sitcoms like from Family Matters, Step by Step, Full House. Just those Three's Company. Yeah, this is like those classic sitcoms. So yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, yeah. Number 7, since I think movie scores are forgettable nowadays, do you think composers should go back and upbeat scores like in the 80s with guitars and synthesizers? Well, Yeah, I would say some scores are forgotten nowadays. Definitely, I can definitely see that though. But if like the composers of the if composers the ones that did are still alive today, like I know Hans Zimmer. I like Hans Zimmer and a lot of his I like a lot of his scores. Probably his most forgotten score in my opinion is Broken Arrow. That's one of the best action film scores I loved. I like to make a list of some like underrated score sometimes, but not right now though. But like definitely I put Broken Hans Zimmer's score in definitely one of them. I love his score in The Lion King. I wish he could do like an upbeat version of those scores he did back in the day into now, but because when I watch him like in Dunkirk or Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, but still some of his scores can be like almost like sound the same though. Wish you can do like an upbeat of stuff like he did back in the 80s and 90s, especially in the 90s, like with Broken Arrow for ones. I like to do like a different like a score type of that and put in films nowadays for his films. So there is a prime example right there. But with guitars though and synthesizers, I like just but I don't think it would be that score would be good with synthesizers and guitars though. But do like a new update version of that score for Hans Zimmer. I would like to hear that. Um, as for other ones, if Jerry Goldsmith was alive, I would like him to do an upbeat of some of his scores though. But I don't think with guitars and synthesizers, I just like to let them do what they usually do, to make good scores. But John Williams, like he did most of the scores for Spielberg's films, like Jaws, that does not need to be updated or Jurassic Park or Indiana Jones or the Star Wars theme. Those don't need upbeats though, or reversed or revised whatever. But probably one of the ones I ever mentioned was Hans Zimmer's Broken Arrow score. That one's the most forgotten about to me. So yeah. Question number 8. How do you handle different opinions with YouTuber videos when they review or rant on a movie? How do I handle it? Well, let's say every person has their own opinion. I say a lot of times, everybody has their own opinion on what they feel about if they like or dislike a film. It's just that if they rant about it, if they hate it, they hate it. If they don't like it, that's fine. I don't hold nothing against the person who doesn't like the film. I respect everybody's opinions though, but I just assure that I hope that everybody express my opinion because whatever I say, I just don't. Whether I like or dislike a film, this is all my opinion and all that stuff, and how I handle those people, how do YouTubers when they review, how they share their opinions. I respect their opinions. I respect them if they don't like a film or they do like a film. Well, to me, that's the whole point. I started this whole thing because I would like to express what I like and what I don't like about with films. I wouldn't have going on this for going on 4 years without what I like or dislike about it. I always say what I want to say. It's my channel. I can do what I want though, but I always say truthfully. I like to be honest on what I like about film. Otherwise, what's the point? But I always respect everybody else's opinion. And if they don't like a film, I'll say, cool. I'm not gonna hold nothing against you on that. And if they do like the film, cool. So that's how I handle it. Is I just treat everybody with respect, and they respect their opinions. That's how everyone has different perspectives on how they think about a film. So yeah, that's how I handle it. Number 9. What are some songs that you revisit and jam out from your childhood, teenage years, and current age? What songs? Well, there's a lot of songs. From childhood, there's so much I can't keep track up to like teenage years and till the present. Well, Space Jam for one. The song for the opening credits. Come on and slam and welcome to the jam. I love that song. The opening theme for just Space Jam. It was a great song. Um, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Elton John's version from The Lion King. And can you feel the love tonight? Love that song. That's why I revisit all the time. All the songs from my childhood films that I always say up to the present day reflects on how much I loved them back growing up. Beauty and the Beast, the theme from Peebo Bryson and Celine Dion. Um, You'll Be My Heart from Tarzan. Um, Scooby Doo, the theme for Scooby Doo from the TV show. Da, 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 da. Mm. Well, the Pokemon theme, of course. Gotta catch 'em all. But yeah, those are some of them I just loved from childhood. Most of them were like all Disney films, but like I said, Space Jam for one, and so You'll Be My Heart, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight, The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. I know my brother likes A Whole New World from Aladdin. He like listening to that song. And for one thing for my brother, he also listens to "I Will Find My Way" from Hercules. But those are the two from my brother likes listening to. Oh, Go Power Rangers from the theme for the TV show, definitely. So yeah, just a lot from the songs that are I remember a lot better from animated kids movies, or live action kids shows, whatever. Those are just always I remember just growing up loving, listening to all the time as a kid, from the films and the TV shows as well, Scooby Doo and all that. So yeah. Number 10. What are some television shows that you'll never never get old? That will never get old, and to you, no matter how many times you've seen it. Well, I just mentioned one, Scooby Doo. It will never get old. It'll always be a classic TV show. I even liked the What's New Scooby Doo as well from the mid 2000s. I know that's a show I do enjoy as well, but I also enjoyed the old show as well. Scooby Doo. Well, ones will never get old. The Rugrats. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Alf. The Busy World of Richard Scarry. That's another show that doesn't get talked about nowadays. Ed, Ed, Eddie. Street Sharks. The Extreme Dinosaurs. Those are ones that won't get talked much nowadays either. Goosebumps. The show. The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. The Land Before Time show, which I do enjoy. But so the Pokemon show, SpongeBob. I'll never get old to watching SpongeBob. Um, trying to think of else. I know the Yu-Gi-Oh show as well. The Three Stooges. They'll never get old. Um, Gargoyles. That's a great animated show. So yeah, those are a lot of shows out there that, for the most part, I'll never get old watching. Back to the Barnyard, from a time like since I earlier this year, been watching and have been watching over and over, and I'll never get tired of it. So they put Back to the Barnyard as well. Rugrats, the old Nickelodeon shows from the '90s like Real Monsters, Angry Beavers, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed, Edd and Eddie. So yeah, all the shows mentioned I'll never get too tired or too old to watch, because those are a part of my childhood, and I'll never be too old to watch those. I love those shows. That was a good question as well. Number 11. What are some guilty pleasure movies, songs, and video games for you? Uh, guilty pleasure ones. I don't know if I can remember what films I watched as a guilty pleasure. Unless I was having a very bad day, I'll probably just watch it. Feel like if I'm having a shitty day, I'll just sit down and watch a shitty film. Or the other way around, I just like to watch a good film to cheer me up as well. But I don't consider watching stuff that are guilty pleasures for me. But video games, songs, I don't consider listening to or playing for guilty pleasures. I just watch them because they're good songs or good games. So I don't have any guilty pleasure movies, songs, or games. It's like if I'm having a bad day and I'll just feel like putting on a bad film or a good film to cheer me up. So I don't think there are other songs I listen to that are guilty pleasures, or playing video games are guilty pleasures. So yeah. Then the last question is, what horror icon would you put RoboCop against? Ooh. RoboCop versus Jason Voorhees, or Michael Myers, or Freddy Krueger. Those three main ones. RoboCop versus Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. Probably even Leatherface. Best for a giant monster, as for horror icons, a Pumpkinhead. He's a big creature. Maybe Pivot go up against RoboCop. So yeah, figure some for someone for being around his size. So yeah, maybe Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface. I'll even put Pumpkinhead just for the sake of size. But yeah. So yeah, those horror icons. So yeah, so those are all of his questions. Thanks for those by Crank Ducks. Horror fan 34 saying, "Hey there, man. I'm a huge fan of you. Thank you. Here are my questions. Number one? What are your thoughts on Manhunter? I like the film Manhunter that Michael Mann directed, starring William Peterson, and Brian Cox playing Hannibal Lecter. I like Manhunter. I'll probably review if I would review the Hannibal Lecter franchise. So yeah, I like Manhunter. Number two, have you ever seen Survive the Night? If you haven't, it's very good. It's basically a female Judgment Night. No, I have not seen Survive the Night, so I'll have to look into that one. Number three, which 5 celebrities have you come across as very likable and humble? If I come across that think are likable and humble. Ah, crap. Hmm. Well, five. So I can't think of five though, but I think one of them. Um, I would probably say. Um, what five celebrities do you come across as very likable? Probably. Maybe. Probably put Mel Gibson because I enjoyed Mel Gibson. You know, I know the guy has had problems in the past years ago though, but he's apologized and he has been humble about it though. He's admitted his mistakes. People still give him trash talk about him. I'm like, come on, he's already admitted about it and he's already made mistakes. Get off his back. And he's been humble, but he has been humble about it. So, but I just saying, just leave the guy alone. He's back on he's back where he is. You know, he was a good villain in the third Expendables film. Too bad the rest of the film sucked. But I like Mel Gibson. He did a great job directing Hacksaw Ridge. His film was nominated for some Oscar nods. So he's like starting. He's been picking up, getting back up again. And that's another one that for making a comeback. You know, he's making his comeback again. For a question from earlier. So yeah, I can't think of five other ones though, but definitely one of them. Sorry if I can't think of five though, but one of them I would definitely say Mel Gibson as well because people still trash talk him. Leave the guy alone. He's manned up, admitted his mistakes, and he has been humble about it. So yeah, just we all make mistakes. Put it that way. We all make mistakes. We've admitted to them. Just give the guy a break, okay? I like Mel Gibson, so I would definitely give him a break on that. He's admitted his mistakes and he's been humble about it. So yeah, Mel Gibson definitely I'll put one of them. And I'm glad he's been back, you know, because I like Hacksaw Ridge. He did a great job directing. So yeah, I can't think of five though, but that's definitely one I would put up. Number 4, what are some underrated comedies that you enjoy? Oh man, there's some great comedies I think are pretty underrated. I'm looking as I'm going down my list of comedy films. I'm going down my list. Let's see. I know Clerks. It's been a comedy classic for years. But I'll put that as an underrated as well as the sequel Clerks 2. I know the first one's been a classic for years, but I would put that and Clerks 2 as underrated because Kevin Smith nowadays his films have been not that great. A lot of them have pretty much sucked. As well as I'll put that with Mallrats 2 as well. See, I'm going down my list of comedy films. The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, I would definitely put that as one. Johnny Dangerously with Michael Keaton. That's definitely one that I think it's underrated. Johnny Dangerously, I do enjoy that one. My dad really does. My dad has an old VHS tape of that, and he really does enjoy Johnny Dangerously. So I'll definitely put that as one as well. So yeah, Johnny Dangerously, Michael Keaton. Nothing But Trouble. I'll put that underrated as well with stars Chevy Chase, John Candy, and Dan Aykroyd. I think Demi Moore as well. Yeah, Demi Moore. I think that's the only film that Dan Aykroyd directed. I think he did a really good job with the film. So yeah, I would definitely put that as underrated as well. That film flopped though, sadly. But Nothing But Trouble with Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, and the late John Candy and Demi Moore. Um, Oscar, I will put Oscar as well. It's Stallone's attempt at doing a comedy. I think he did a good job with doing a comedy film. I like Oscar. I'll put that as under that as well. Um, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Definitely. I know a lot of people. I know it got a lot of praise. It got a lot of praise, and from people and critics alike. But I would still put Tucker and Dale versus Evil under that too. Um, I'll say that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Goes all the way down to the comments that I have so far. So yeah. So that's one. That's for the question number 4. If they ever did a Max Payne reboot, who would you get to play Max Payne? Thomas Jane or Frank Grillo? Now I would like to see. I like it. The first Max Payne with Mark Wahlberg. That sucked big time. I hated the first Max Payne film. If they ever do a reboot of it, two great choices. Thomas Jane and Frank Grillo. I can definitely see them both playing. You know, from Thomas Jane playing the Punisher and Frank Grillo, who I like in the second and third Purge films, and then also in Captain America: The Winter Soldier and his little role in Civil War. I can see both easily them both playing Max Payne. That's a hard choice. I can see either one of them playing that character role. Number 6, favorite food to eat. Favorite food to eat, very easy. Burgers. Definitely burgers. Love them. Number 7, who was the best celebrity that you have ever met at a convention? 2 of them. Two of them have I consider been the best celebrities I've met at conventions. I have not put them up on here yet, though I do have. I've been saving them. I've been saving them, though, when I feel like I need to put them out there. But I haven't put them out there, but I've been saving them. 2 of the best ones I have met as of yet. Ernie Hudson played Winston from Ghostbusters and various other films. It was a great pleasure seeing Ernie Hudson. That was when I actually met my mother. My mother went along to meet because she liked Ernie Hudson in when he played Solomon in Hand That Rocks the Cradle. You know, he played Solomon. He was kind of like a little bit of a disabled guy who helped around the house, helped save the baby as well. That's the reason why my mother went along, because she liked him in that film. So if I do post that video, it'll show me a picture of me standing next to Ernie Hudson and my mother standing next to on him on the other side. It was great meeting Ernie Hudson. I liked him in other films from Ghostbusters. I enjoyed him in Congo. He was pretty funny in Congo. I liked him in The Crow. He's been in very, very other films, but it was great meeting Ernie Hudson. And the second one was the late Roddy Piper. Roddy Rod. You know, from John Carpenter's They Live. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. It was great meeting Roddy Piper. Very nice guy. And it was funny at the time. I met him in December 2014, and then within months later, during the summer of 2015, he passed away. I was like, I met him within just months, like a few months ago, and then all of a sudden he passed away, and that totally sucked. You know, I got pictures too. He was such a nice guy, because my dad would like to have met Roddy Piper, but he couldn't make it to the convention where I was at. But Roddy Piper, he was very cool and kind enough to me go and get on my phone and call my dad up so he can talk to him over the phone. Roddy Piper, he was just a great guy. He was kind of let me call my dad so he can say hello to him over the phone and say, hey, this is Roddy Piper and all that. And my dad's like, oh, cool, it's nice to hear from you, you know? Great guy. So yeah, Roddy Piper and Ernie Hudson was so far has been the two of the best celebrities I've met at a convention so far. So yeah, but it doesn't mean meeting all the ones that I met that I posted up were good too. But two of the best ones I still consider I've ever met so far: Ernie Hudson and Roddy Piper. So question number 8: any other films that are you looking forward to this year? Well, let's see here. Other ones was looking forward to this year. Well, there's one I'm looking forward to the next coming Friday on the 18th. There was the comedy film The Hitman's Bodyguard with um Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds. I thought that made them. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully, it doesn't disappoint. Um, as far down the rest goes, uh, I know I'll look forward to seeing Ferdinand towards the end of the year. That comes out mid-December. Now I'm just drawing a blank again. My memory is just that bad. I can't remember anything. I know the last weekend I saw Kidnap. I like that movie. Um, but it's just I'm trying to think what other films that come out early this year. I'm trying to think of what comes out for the October month. Jigsaw. I don't know why they're making another one. I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to that. They should have stopped making any more of those. Um, well, Thor Ragnarok that comes out November 3rd. I look forward to that. Not Justice League that comes out in the mid-November. Not really for Star Wars Last Jedi. Maybe for Ferdinand, Thor Ragnarok, I love The Hitman's Bodyguard. It comes out in September. Stephen King's It. No. I'm trying to think of anything else. But the ones I said, the other ones I mentioned, I'm not interested though. But yeah, I'll say Ferdinand, Thor Ragnarok, The Hitman's Bodyguard. I'll probably look when I look the stuff up. It's like, oh yeah, I'll look forward to that though. But I can't think of anything right now on the top of my head now. But yeah, that's one thing. Question number 9: What top five worst Stephen King film adaptations? Were some of the worst ones? Well, let's see. Dreamcatcher. That I didn't really, honestly overall didn't like Dreamcatcher. The Shining TV series, the mini series, or the Carrie mini series as well. Um, let's see. I'm sure if I see the new It movie, probably I'll put that on there because I already did not care for the trailers. So if I do see it, I'll probably put that as on the top 5 worst Stephen King adaptations. Like I said, nothing can compete with the good performance of Tim Curry's Pennywise. He was scary enough as it is back in the days when I was a little kid. He scared me. This one they try to make me more scary and creepier. I'm sorry, nothing compared to Tim Curry. But Dreamcatcher, the Shining and Carrie miniseries, Well, oh, Rage 2 or Rage Carry 2. That sucked. I wasn't honestly the biggest fan of Firestarter, the one that started young Drew Barrymore. I don't think I'd say I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Um, but most of them I do enjoy of Stephen King's stuff. So yeah, that's probably some of the ones I say are not. But if I do see the new It movie, I haven't seen The Dark Tower yet with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, so I can't say nothing on that though. But if I do see the new It film, I'll probably put that on the worst Stephen King adaptations, I would say. But I'm not sure a lot of people are looking forward to that, so I can't. Well, it's their opinion, so but it's my opinion. If I see it, probably put that on the worst adaptations list. So the next last question is: if you made your own Batman film, what characters would you like to have, and who would be cast? That's for me to say, because to me the best Batman is Michael Keaton. I like to have Michael Keaton play Batman one last time, and if I would like to have in it, do a better version of Scarecrow, not the one from Christopher Nolan's Scarecrow. I'll probably say have a better version of Scarecrow. Maybe add Clayface in there, because I remember Clayface. He was he was in the Batman animated series from the '90s. That's another one. That's another TV show I grew up watching that I think we'll never get tired of. I remember Clayface from that show. I'll probably put Clayface in that. I like to see Michael Keaton's Batman go up against a Clayface. But who would be cast? I don't know. I'm not sure who would be cast as Clayface. But yeah, I'm trying to. All the other villains were from the other Batman films were taken, so I'll probably just put Clayface. It's the only character I can think of right now to put in a Batman film. Have Michael Keaton come back as Batman. If I were to make it, have Michael Keaton come back, I'll probably put Clayface. Or have a better interpretation of Freeze other than Arnold Schwarzenegger's Freeze, probably. Probably just put Patrick Stewart as Mr. Freeze. There you go. I'll have Patrick Stewart. He seemed like the part to play Mr. Freeze, from how the character was from the animated show. I could see Patrick Stewart playing that Mr. Freeze. So yeah. Anyway, for Horror Fan 3034, thanks for those. Another guy a guy who's been watching my reviews some time, DJ Donnelly. He has 4 questions for me this time. Favorite soda? Number one, favorite soda? Mountain Dew. Both regular and diet Mountain Dew, I would say. Question number 2: if you had the time machine from the DeLorean from Back to the Future, he's trying to say, if you had the DeLorean from Back to the Future, he put time machine though, but the DeLorean basically from Back to the Future, where would you go? Where would you go first? Back to the past or to the future? Easily for me is to the past. I'll take the DeLorean to go back to the past. Probably from the 80s to go to the 80s and the 90s to see the old films when they first came out in theaters. Like I would like to go back to 1982, see John Carpenter's The Thing on when it first came out, or 1975 when Jaws came out. I'd like to see that back in the day, or back to 1993 when Jurassic Park came out. Even though at the time I was 2 years old when I was born. Well, I was 2 years old at the time when Jurassic Park came out. I like to just go back in time to see when it first came out, Jurassic Park. Or go back to 1998 so I can revisit my great experience of seeing Godzilla from 1998 again. Like I said, I explained, one of the greatest movie theaters I had when I was a kid was seeing Godzilla, and you can tell from up there, Deep Blue Sea as well. I like to see Deep Rising. I never got to see Deep Rising back in the day in the theater from 1998. So I'll use that to go back to see that film back in the theater in the day. As for the 80s, I'll see. I'll love to go back to see The Blob, 1990, to see Tremors. So many films I would love to go back to the past from the 80s, 70s, and 90s to see all those films when they came out back in the day. On their opening days, I would say. Definitely. Question number 3. Are you into Star Wars? I like the original trilogy. Was never the fan of the prequel trilogy. I'm not a fan of The Force Awakens. So I don't look forward to The Last Jedi. I've always been a fan of the original trilogy, from the first Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi. But am I into Star Wars? I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not this huge diehard fan of Star Wars. There's always been this rival battle between Star Wars and people who are fans of Star Trek. I'm more of a Star Trek fan. But I do like the original Star Wars trilogy. I'm just not that huge of a fan of Star Wars. I'm more of a Star Trek fan myself. But am I into this? I am into the original trilogy, not the prequel trilogy. Don't like the prequel trilogy. Don't like The Force Awakens. I don't care to see The Last Jedi. But I like the original trilogy. But am I into Star Wars as a diehard fan or not? No, I'm more of a Star Trek fan. And last he says, favorite horror franchise. Favorite horror franchise for me, I would put Halloween. Because the original Halloween, that was the first one of the first horror films I saw when I was a little kid. It scared the bejesus out of me, and that probably I just fell in love with the franchise since then. I enjoy Halloween 2, solid sequel. I even like Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. The reason why I'll only rant about it is because it should have not been part of the franchise. It should have had its own separate film, just called Season of the Witch, not Halloween 3. But I do like that film, Season of the Witch. Halloween 4, great sequel. Even the franchise started to go down with 5, 6, but picked up with 7, and I can deal with 8. Then Rob Zombie's Halloween films can kiss my ass. But still, I will still put Halloween as my favorite horror franchise because of the films that I liked growing up liking as well. But that's my favorite horror franchise. But as my top 3, I would probably have to say, the Tremors films, because also grew up with the first 2 films as well. Then I'll probably put the Friday the 13th and then Nightmare on Elm Street. But as for favorite horror franchise, I would put it's a toss up between Freddy and Jason franchises, but I would put the Halloween franchise. And I'll definitely put the Jaws franchise in there somewhere though. But when I was a little kid, when I was really little, what scared me was the first Halloween. That's what I'll put as the Halloween franchise. So yeah. So DJ Donnelly, thanks for those. Thanks for those questions. And getting out to the last 2 people who sent me questions. First is another guy who's enjoyed watching my reviews, Caleb Bogus. Caleb sent me his questions. Thoughts on La La Land with Ryan Gosling. I like Ryan Gosling as an actor. I had not seen La La Land because I'm not the biggest fan of musicals. Although I do like the musicals from the Disney films, though. But for the live films that are musicals, I've not seen La La Land. I know it won Oscars, but I have not seen it though. I do like Ryan Gosling though, but for musicals, I just rather watch stuff from Aladdin, The Lion King, The Little Mermaid. Those type of musical Disney films. But as for live action ones like Mamma Mia or that, I just never had the interest. I don't have the interest in seeing La La Land. So yeah, I have not seen it. I just don't care to see it. Next one is, if you can meet any character from a movie, who would it be? Oh, that's another good question. If any character who I can meet, I can just meet a whole bunch of characters that I would love to meet. Just a whole slew of characters I would love to meet. Like, I would like to met like a lot of Kurt Russell's characters, like Snake Plissken or Jack Burton, or other ones like John McClane, the Die Hard films, or Rambo, John Rambo. Oh, other characters. Trying to think. Yeah, probably those actions characters probably, but I know those other characters I would love to meet. I would love to meet though, but yeah, John McClane, John Rambo, um, Snake Plissken, Jack Burton, but those characters I like to meet. But those are action movie characters. But as for other ones, can't think of anything right now. But those are the ones that came to mind for action films. So yeah. Next question: thoughts on Resident Evil? Like I said, I'm not a fan of the film franchise. I played a Resident Evil game long ago. I don't have it no more though. But I said I've never been a fan of the film franchises. But I played a game a long time ago. Just don't have it no more. But I remember liking playing the game though. And the last question he sent: do you know about the AA Milan biographical movie called Goodbye, Christopher Robin? I've heard of it. I look forward to that because being a huge fan of Winnie the Pooh for years since childhood. Curious and anxious to check out the bibliography about that film, about Goodbye, Christopher Robin. I'm curious about that film. So Caleb, thanks for those questions. Hope you keep watching more of my reviews. I know you will. So keep it up with those, Caleb. So thanks for those. And last but not least, questions from my good friend Peter, aka Peter Freakout 10. Save him for last. So he sent me 10 questions. So the first question he has sent me: have you ever heard of the Sly Cooper games? I love them and am writing a fanatic on them. No, I have not. I have not. I think I might have heard the name long time ago. The name escapes me though, but I have to look up the games though. Otherwise, those are the games. I remember those. I might have. I was long ago. I might have heard of it by a slim chance, but I have to look up the games though. So yeah. Question 2: if you can act in any genre of movies, if I could act in any genre of movies, what would you pick? Between action and horror. Probably mostly horror though, but I also pick action as well. So yeah. Question number 3: have you ever watched Futurama? I just started getting into it. Yes, I've heard of Futurama. I know it's a popular animated show. I don't have the interest of watching Futurama. I know you're getting into watching the show. Good for you. I mean, I'm saying good for you. If you're going to look for watching the show, go for it. I've heard of the show, but I just never got my interest in it. I just like other shows I just would rather be watching, like like something like Futurama. Even though, where is it? There it is. Let me just get for a second. I know it's probably not like I know it's not probably not like Futurama, but it's a show that I thought I think it's pretty funny though. But perfectly honest, I think it's much funnier than Family Guy or South Park. I don't care for South Park or Family Guy, but something like if it's something like an animated space show, like something like Futurama. I think this is probably funnier though, but Tripping the Rift. I find it funnier than South Park or Family Guy. But for the French Futurama, it's sort of like that space futuristic film feel to it for that show though. I just don't have the interest of seeing Futurama. I just rather watch this show instead. I think it's much more funnier though. And it's sad to say, I wish this show would give more seasons. It only lasted 3 though, but sadly though. But I wish that show would have continued on. I would just see how they would have done more of those with the characters. But Futurama, I'll have the interest of seeing. But if you're just getting into it, go ahead and watch those shows. I'm not holding you back on that. Question number 4: do you still use VHS tapes? Because I do. Yes, I do. I still do use VHS. I have a whole bunch stored away. There's an occasional. There's something I still have. If you see my room, I still have an old TV that has an old VHS tape right there. I'll show you quickly right now. That old TV right there still has an old VHS player in there. There's an occasional something that I want something on TV. I get blank VHS tapes to record stuff on, so I still use those for VHSs. But I still have a whole bunch of VHS tapes stored away. I still use them if I feel like I need to, though. If something I don't have on DVD yet, but I still do use VHS tapes. Question number 5: have you ever planned to review the Hellraiser franchise? It's my favorite horror movie. Not anytime soon, because it's a lot of sequels. I plan on reviewing the Friday 13th the franchise for Halloween month. I just don't have time. It's a lot of sequels. I know Friday 13th has a lot of sequels though, but I plan to get into that franchise though. But the Hellraiser films, it's more of a complicated thing. It's the whole thing with the cube and all that, and the Pinhead and his background, all that stuff. I have to get my head around all those sequels. That's just too much for me right now. I'm not gonna maybe sometime next year or so though, but not anytime soon. I don't plan. I like the first Hellraiser film as well as the sequel, but I don't plan to review the franchise anytime soon. Number 6, out of all the Nick cartoons, which is your favorite? Oh, that's another one. Speaking of Nick cartoons, there's one I forgot to mention on the question earlier that I won't get tired of or never too old to watch. I forgot to mention one right here, Cat Dog. Forgot to mention that right there, Cat Dog. But as for the ones that I consider my favorite of the Nick shows, it's a combination of both SpongeBob and the Rugrats. As for the Nickelodeon shows, SpongeBob and the Rugrats. Question number 7. Where do you buy your DVDs? Where do I buy my DVDs? A lot of times, there are 2 DVD stores that are near where I live. One called Streetlight Records, where they have a bunch of a lot of used stuff, old used DVDs, even laser discs, video games, old CDs, records. That's one place. Streetlight Records. The other one is Rasputin Music. That's for a little ways past Streetlight Records, but Rasputin Music. That's although between the two places I go the most, I go to Rasputin Music. Yeah, that's like the place I go to the most to get my DVDs from. Because a lot of times when I do DVD updates, whether I get new or mostly all the used ones, it's mostly from Rasputin Music. So yeah, and also for Rasputin Music, this is where I also got my DVD shelves from. The nice wooden DVD shelves, that's where I get them from Rasputin Music. You can look it up. It's probably not around where you live though, but around where I live, there's like very few locations though. But yeah, Streetlight Records and Rasputin Music. And of course, there's an occasional where there's also occasional I buy DVDs also from Target as well. Question number 8: Do you ever get hate for an opinion? Cause I do. Yes, I do. Sometimes I do get hate. I do get hate for what I have to say. But I am never wrong. I am not wrong for what I have to say for my own opinion. Like I said, I respect everyone else's opinion, but I am not wrong for sharing my opinion. I do get hate for some things though, but it's like whatever. If they can't handle my opinion, then just don't watch my reviews then. Because my opinions, I'm where I keep to myself where it's my opinion, it's not a fact. It's all subjective, and that's what my reviews are. It's all my opinions, and I do get some hate sometimes, but I'm not wrong for what I have to say. So yeah, I know every YouTuber who does movie reviews get hate for what they have to say for their own opinions. So, but hey, I said it's all subjective. It's all opinion based. You're all bound to get stuff get hate for an opinion though. But I just brush it off, and I just like I know you're. It's like I'm trying to put in better words, is that if you can't handle what people have to say, then why are you watching if you can't handle it? Just keep your opinions to yourself then if you're not gonna listen to anybody else. Every film has a hater or a fan, and everyone has the right to share what they feel about a film. I do that. I'm sure I know everybody does say the same thing whenever they want to review a film, but they get hate, and they just what can you do about it? You can't just if people start going out and attacking them, saying, "Oh, you're a piece of crap," I would just don't talk to that person then. I'm just never wrong for what I have to say. So yeah. That's how I do get some hates for my opinion wherever I share my opinion. It's just whatever. I'm not wrong for what I have to say. Question number 9: Do you ever plan to do video game reviews on here? Well, I did review a game long ago. I played a video game on here long ago. My CD-ROM game of Small Soldiers Squad Commander. I played the Commando side, and since then, I never finished by playing the Gorgonite side. I still wanted to finish it by playing the Gorgonite side though, but just never got around to it since then. So I had done a review. I have done a video game, not just a review, but a walkthrough. So on Small Soldiers Squad Commander, you can check out that. It's still on my channel, Small Soldiers Squad Commander playing Commandos part whatever 1 through how many plays I did. But I will review some video games. Like I said on Nintendo game, I got Nintendo games I got and some other stuff. So I will review some video games on here. Well, I did it a while back. I reviewed 2 of my childhood CD-ROM games of Ready to Read with Pooh and Ready for Math with Pooh. I reviewed those. Those are CD-ROM games I reviewed because I loved them playing growing up. So yeah, I will do some review some video games on here if I have time to. Then last but not least, the last question is, where do you get the idea of the Pickle Boy whiny crimes and scream vids? They are hilarious. The idea is why I make those videos is they just come to me, you know. Whenever I just watch wherever I watch the videos, I just make complications of like all throughout the year videos that through the years, and I match them all at once. I got a lot, and they all the videos that I posted on related to those things. I just got a lot of views from. It's like wow, like the farts and like and Grandpa's farts, or where he's destruction, or where he goes on rambling, and of course Pickle Boys when he cries, whines, and screams like a girl and all that. And it's just the idea just came to me, you know. So yeah, and I'm sure I get tons of comments saying they're hilarious and all that, and saying, "Oh, good job with those videos," and they're hilarious. So yeah, and they do take some time to put all the clips together though. So, but yeah, so that's all the questions. Peter, thanks for all those questions, and that's about it. I know, and this comes up to almost 2 hours. I didn't expect this to be this long, but a lot of you guys sent like 10 questions. That's why it took so long. But hey, this is the longest I've ever done for a Q&A, so I had to make this long. So yeah, but thanks for all those questions that you have sent me, especially to the ones like DJ Dolany and Caleb and Peter. Freak 10, Peter. Thanks for all sending me those questions, and to all the other ones, thank you for sending me those questions. There were lots of good questions that I hope I answered them to your satisfaction, answered them the best I could. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this Q&A, and hope you'll looking forward to the one next year in August. So yeah, so hope you enjoyed the third Q&A that I have done. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. And once again, thanks for all the ones, especially to my friends who sent me those questions, and to the other ones as well. Good, lots of good questions. And now it's time. Excuse me. It's time for me to go to bed because I didn't know this could be over 2 hour thing. So, but thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and hope you enjoyed this video. And hope you enjoyed me answering your questions. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.